Good morning. Welcome, morning meeting. So here's what's on my mind this morning. Story time. So before the holiday, before Christmas, I was out shopping at a local mall with my daughter, and I had been there several times to do some shopping. And there's this store that when you walk by, it's sort of a beauty store or something. But they always have two or three people outside the store trying to draw you in with samples or whatnot. And on one particular occasion before this happened, I was walking by. There's a gentleman who got my attention. I smile, he smiles. He's like, "You're the first person to actually smile back at me." And he gave me a sample. I'm like, "Oh, thank you very much." He told me a little about it. I'm like, "Okay, cool." And then I went on my merry little way. But this time, there with my daughter, and I'm like, "We got to go." So we're trying to hurry past the store, and we're just turning the corner. And I thought I successfully navigated not engaging with the people at the store, but no, I was wrong because my daughter engaged. I was like, oh. And the woman that was trying to get her attention got my daughter to stop and turn. So now the woman's like, ooh, there's an open door. I'll go through it, right? So she comes over and she's talking to us, and she's got a little bit of an accent. I don't know where she's from. I would guess maybe Russian, having worked with Russian speaking people. But in any case, so I'm trying to listen and really understand what she's saying to me through the accent. And what I'm getting is she's like, "Well, what do you do for your makeup routine?" I said, I really don't do anything. I keep things pretty natural. I like a natural approach to what I do. I don't really do much." And she's like, "Oh, that's bad." I'm like, "That's bad?" My daughter's looking at me like, "That's bad?" I'm like, "No, I don't think that's bad." She's, "But your pores, I can see all of your pores, and they're big, and that's bad." And I'm thinking, "Say what now? My pores? I don't." And I'm looking at my daughter like, "What the hell is she talking about?" My daughter is clueless too. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." She goes, "That's just going to get worse. Come with me. Come with me." I'm like, "Oh, Lord. Lord help me." So now I can't get out of it politely, because here's the thing. People in Nebraska, as a general rule, we're really polite, considerate people. We aren't going to be mean to you unnecessarily. We will try and get out of situations in a very cordial manner, right? We're not typically an in your face type of culture here, just so you know. And people do generally smile at you, right? So that's the culture here. So I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out. In my head, I'm thinking, I gotta figure out how to get out of this. I gotta figure out how to get out of this, because I knew where this was going. So we go into the store, and she's like, "Give me your arm." I'm like, "Sit, give me your arm." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I do this and expose my wrist because she wants to do something on my wrist. She goes to put some stuff on my wrist, and she's trying to explain to me how this is what would be on your face, and it cleans your pores, and I'm hearing Charlie Brown's Teacher. Are you familiar with that? In Peanuts, wah 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 is what I'm hearing, because I'm like, I don't care about this. I just want this to be over. That's all I want. My daughter's standing there. She tells me later that there was another man there who was waiting for whoever he was with. She assumed wife, but whoever he was with, and they were sort of connecting with each other on this whole situation of, oh my God, am I trapped here? But I felt that way too. So she's going to put the stuff on my wrist, and I'm thinking, why does that burn? Why is that feeling hot right now? And I said that to her, I'm like, why does it feel like it's hot? Oh no, it's not hot. It's not. That's not what it does. It's all natural. It's all organic. And then I'm like, then why does it feel that way? So then I'm concerned that something's going on that's not supposed to happen, and I want this stuff off. So then she starts to wipe it off, and she's trying to convince me that this is something I need. This beauty product is something I need to do something with my pores, which I didn't even know was an issue, to be perfectly frank. So then I said, "Well, how much is this stuff that you got here?" It's $100. It's $100 for this stuff that was burning my skin. It felt like it was burning my skin. I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm putting that on my face. I don't even know what that is. So you know what? I'll give it some thought. Thank you so much. And we excused ourselves and we left. And then I explained to my daughter later, you got to keep walking. You got to keep walking. It's like when we were in Hollywood and your dad got stopped by that guy on the street, right? And I had to turn around and go back and rescue him. You got to keep walking. You got to have that look on your face that says, "Nope, not today, Satan," and just keep going. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't smile at people, but you can politely go, "No, thank you. No, thank you," which is what I didn't do this time as we were walking by, because I thought I got past the store. And then I got to that point where that no thank you wasn't going to work right then. I had to wait and go through it. And I'm just laughing through this whole thing. So basically, this woman is telling me that I'm just going to get less and less attractive because of pores or something like that. Let that sit for a minute. I just thought it was so funny. I am not a makeup person. I mean, it should be abundantly clear. I'm not into that. I've never been into that. It's not high on my list of priorities in my life. And I've taught that to my daughter. The the beauty that you have truly needs to come from the inside and needs to be something you're comfortable with. And I'm comfortable with it. And I'm raising a daughter who is comfortable with it. To this day, she's 17. She hasn't worn a stitch of makeup. And part of it is by example. The other part is that I've said to her, makeup is meant to enhance the beauty you already have. And if that's the case, maybe you don't feel like you need the makeup. So there's days where I'll wear a little bit, there's days where I won't wear any because it's not that important to me. And I understand it's important to some other people, and that's cool. It can be important to you. I'm cool with that. I'm also happy that I'm raising someone who that's not a priority to her. That's not where she finds her beauty. That's not where she finds her strength. So I'm thinking that's a win. I've done something right there. I'm very happy about that. So as you go through your day, think about that a little bit. How do you feel on the inside? How do you feel about your own beauty? Is that where the work needs to happen? You know, do you feel like you're enough? And oftentimes, a lot of us, myself included, don't feel like we're enough. And then we get caught up in other things. Mine doesn't happen to be this at all. But I will say that I know I'm a good writer, and yet I still struggle with putting it out there into the world and feeling like it's something someone wants to read. So it happens to everybody. You just have to figure out what your thing is and then work through it, right? That's it. That's all. Anyway, that's my thought for the day. Have a great one. See ya.